everyone. Thank you very much for coming this evening. And I am delighted to see you all here. And for many of you, this is the first time attending a Global Engineers event. So a very special welcome to you. It's an exciting time for engineers from Asia to come to Ireland. To demonstrate this, last year, 30% of our new members were from Asian countries. With the global economy becoming increasingly connected, Engineers Ireland is here for members to learn about the engineering industry in Ireland. Our goal is to provide you with valuable and relevant information to assist you in your own career progression here. You will also have the chance to network with fellow professionals and engineers from other countries and to share your own experiences. We have a diverse group of engineers at Engineers Ireland membership and also here tonight. Each one of you has a different story and background. So our international experience are the foundation of our knowledge and will be invaluable throughout the evening. Let me start by saying a few words about my own background. So my name is Regi. I am from Brazil, and I moved to Ireland in 2012. 6 years ago, I started working in Engineers Ireland, and I created the Global Engineers Series. So I created the Global Engineers Series to assist people that are graduated from outside Ireland and the UK to understand the engineering industry in the country, to meet with other professionals, to open up new opportunities. And I'm passionate about building this network. So thanks once again for your participation today. And here I have a slide with everything that's coming up today. So first of all, I will start talking about Engineers Ireland and career progression. And then we have our special guest, which is a chartered engineer in Engineers Ireland and a fellow in the UK, Henry Poh. He will tell you his professional experience in Ireland. And then if you don't mind, I will leave the questions for the end of this presentation. And we will raffle a gift for people that are attending today. And then the networking opportunity and typical food will be served in the same room that we were earlier today. Before I get into it, I just want to tell you all that you don't need to worry about taking notes, because I will be sharing the slides with you with the following up email. Okay, so starting with Engineers Ireland, a little bit about us. So Engineers Ireland is one of the oldest professional bodies in the country. We were established in 1835, and we are multidisciplinary. So any discipline of engineer can become a member. We have more than 25,000 members, and we are the sole body for awarding registered professional titles, which means if you ever heard about the chartered engineer, associate engineer, engineering technician, or fellow, they are all professional titles that are protected by Engineers Ireland. And we are your professional home. So what are the benefits of being a member of Engineers Ireland? So we have an opportunity to network with other professionals. We have more than 200 events per year. You can access exclusive reports such as salary surveys and technical documents, and you also receive news from us by email. You can include your membership number in your CV, in your LinkedIn profile, or in your email signature. So if you are looking for a job, it is something that will help you to get a job, because we'll prove that you passed through a verification of your qualification and you are an engineer. You can learn new skills, avail of discounted courses. So we have many CPD courses available, and you can get all the support you need to achieve your professional title. So we hold online sessions explaining step-by-step how to apply for a professional title, and then you get your international recognition. So now I will play a short video about international recognition.
Engineers Ireland membership delivers on
international recognition of your qualifications.
Passports are normally associated with a country. However, as a member of Engineers Ireland, you effectively have a professional engineering passport across the globe. Your accredited engineering education is internationally recognised through various accords and the European Network Accreditation of Engineering Education, through mutual recognition agreements and the International Engineering Alliance agreements. Our international standing has enabled our members to work on global projects, continuing the worldwide influence of Irish engineers.
Another project I am currently working on is Peru Reconstruction Project. Following on from the devastation of the 2017 El Niño event in Peru, the government of Peru signed a government-to-government agreement with the Department of International Trade in the UK for the reconstruction and retrofit of critical infrastructure and buildings.
Many of our engineers have shared case studies of their international work on our website. Indeed, some of our Chartered Engineer of Year recipients have travelled as engineers and provided solutions to international challenges. By retaining association with these relevant accords, we assist members seeking a global assignment through a local company or directly abroad. Also, through MRAs, your international achievements are recognised by Engineers Ireland.
Our members shared that having a professional title with Engineers Ireland seems to resonate with professionals in Ireland. Despite my having worked overseas for so many years, my experience is recognised in Ireland, and being chartered with Engineers Ireland is a great benchmark.
Your Engineers Ireland membership delivers for you. Be an active member in our community. Engage today.
Okay, so now for those that are not a member of Engineers Ireland yet, I have here step-by-step how you can become a member. So the first thing to do is to fill out an application form online. And then you send us a copy of your qualification. So this would be your diploma and your transcripts in English. And verified. So verified is like lots of people have questions about that. How do I verify my qualification? Because we are receiving all the qualifications by email, we need someone to see, in person your qualification. So there are different ways you can verify. You can ask someone that you know that is a member of Engineers Ireland to sign a copy of your qualification and including their membership number and signature and date. Or you can go to any Garda station that, with a copy of your qualification and ask them to do that. This doesn't cost anything and you don't have to make an appointment. You just go there and ask them to say true copy of the original. Another way is through Digitary. Digitary is an online platform where we will have access to your qualification through a password. You can send your college a form, or if you're not in Ireland, if you are still abroad, because we have people online here today, you can also ask a solicitor or maybe a notary person in your country and to sign those documents. But if your qualification has a QR code, then you don't need to worry about that because we accept them without this verification. And then after that, you need a copy of an ID. So this can be your passport or maybe your driving license, but has to be the Irish driving license, or maybe your Gen IB, which is your visa here in Ireland. And then the payment. So how much is to become a member of Engineers Ireland? If you're a student in a college here in Ireland, it's free. And normal member pay €280 per year. But if you are looking for a job, we have a special fee for you as an employed and it's €65 per year. After that, your documents will go to membership qualification board and they will read your qualifications, your application, and you will elect you as a member of Engineers Ireland. You receive an email from us confirming your membership, including your number, and also a membership card by post. Once you become a member, and I highly recommend you to go to your profile and select your preferences. So we have 12 regions connecting Ireland and overseas. So you can select which region you want to be part of. And this is important because you'll be receiving newsletters, information by email. You also can select which division you want to be part of, or maybe something that you're interested and want to receive news about. And the society. So we have 11 engineering societies representing special interests. So you see the Young Engineers, for example, is for graduates engineers. So we are the professional home for global engineers. Last year, 48% of all new members were graduated outside Ireland and the UK. So we had an event last year, was actually 13 events during the year. And here I have a few examples of events that we had during the year. So we had an event for South Africa, one from India, for Brazil, and the critical skills. Most of them are available in our YouTube channel. And the critical skills were for different, of course, all nationalities, but for those that need a visa to work in Ireland. So I recommend you to have a look. And here's the agenda for this year. So we had an event in March for India, and then today the Asia. We will have one for Middle East, Brazil, and we also have in the agenda Africa, Spanish speakers, and all nationalities to end the year. As a member, you can access free webinars and discounted courses. So I just did some screenshot from our website to show you a few examples. So you see here that the members always have a better price than that is non-member. And we have this one, the Certified Energy Auditor. So this is a online classroom, but it's a deeper course. So just a few examples here: Better Business English language course, CPD certificate in geometric road design, effective marketing for engineering as SMEs, project management, and sustainability. And we also have, as I mentioned at the beginning, a chartered engineer application webinar. So my colleague delivers this, it's free, it's online, and you can then understand more in detail how to apply for one of our professional titles. We have a YouTube channel called Global Engineers, and most of the sessions are recorded and available for you to watch online, including this one tonight. And if you know anyone that wants to become a member of Engineers Ireland, you can get a €100 voucher from One for All. So they have to include your details in the application form, including your name and your membership number, and then you get €100 from us. For those that are not very familiar with the professional title, as I mentioned at the beginning, I am from Brazil. So in Brazil, we don't have a professional title as a chartered engineer. So I think it's important to mention here what are the benefits and why they exist and how to apply. So a professional title will give you your engineering qualification and competence recognition, and you maximize your earning potential. So you will probably get a pay rise after achieving this title. And you can then sign for tenders. So if you are a civil engineer, for example, and planning to sign for a big project or a tender project, you must be a chartered engineer. You can gain credibility and gain competitive advantage with professional and international recognition. So if you move to another country, if you travel for work, or you decide to move to another country, you can bring then this title with you, and you don't have to go through the process of applying for a professional title again. So they are the 4 professional titles we have, and they are a little bit different. And here's how, general information, the difference between them. So an engineering technician would be someone with an accredited level 6 and at least 3 years working experience. And an associate engineer has a level 7 and at least 4 years working experience. A chartered engineer, it's someone that has an accredited level 8 and an accredited level 9, and at least 4 years working experience. 4 years working experience is what you find in the regulations, but it's quite rare to see someone with 4 years working experience being, having all the competence as an engineer and being successful. What we see is around 8 years working experience to be successful as a chartered engineer. And then a fellow is someone that is already a chartered engineer for at least 5 years and held a position of responsibility. So this would be someone between 15, 20, 25 years working experience. So all the documents are available in our website. And if you are planning to apply for professional title, I recommend you to go through them. They will tell you exactly what they are expecting to see from you as an engineer, as a professional, and will help you to complete this application. So I did some research for the Global Engineers Asia, and I listed here all the accredited programs countries from that we have the accredited programs from. And this is very important because we'll change the route for you to become chartered, which I will explain in the next slide. So in those, you can see there in Washington Accords, all those countries, it means that they have some agreement with the Washington Accords. Doesn't mean all colleges in that country, doesn't mean that they are all accredited. So you have to go then through the website. I even included the link there. And again, I will be sending these slides to you later, hopefully by Friday, so you can check yourself. But it's a way also you can do through Engineers Ireland website. But it's very important to check the accreditation of your qualification, because this will make the difference for you in here. So here I have a diagram where it's I put a general information about the route to become chartered. So the first one there you see in purple is the standard route. So this is for someone that has an accredited level 8 and has an accredited master's, or maybe someone that has an accredited only level 8, but this person graduated before 2012. So if it is your case, then you go through the standard route. You don't have to demonstrate your educational formation in phase 1 because your qualification is accredited. So you do everything described in phase 2, which is based on your professional development. And then you go for an interview. It's a 1-hour professional interview. And then if you pass, you become a chartered engineer. The second one is the further learning route. So this would be for someone that has an accredited level 8, but doesn't have a master's, or maybe the master's degree is not accredited. So this person has to show a little bit of their education information. And this is described in 3 learning criteria about design, research, and broadening of expertise, and then plus everything described in the phase 2, they go for an interview and they become chartered. And the third one in yellow is the experiential learning route. So this one is for anyone that has an unaccredited qualification. Okay, so let's say your college for that year didn't accredit your engineering course. So this is the route then you go through. So first thing to do is, sorry, before I go to that, so it's also for someone that has a level 7 and more than 10 years working experience, or someone that is already an associate engineer with at least 7 years working experience. And then you do an initial assessment. So this is like the information that you find in your CV. So you have to write 7 learning criteria to demonstrate to the membership qualification board that you are ready to apply to become a chartered engineer. So you have to demonstrate in that a very short report. And then once passed through their approval, you can start working in your phase 1. So the phase 1 is everything described there in that box, and then you go for an interview. And then if you pass the interview, you can start working in the phase 2, and then go for an interview again, and then you become a chartered engineer. For phase 1 and phase 2, there are deadlines, but for the initial assessment, there is none. So you can apply for initial assessment anytime, and they will tell you, give you a feedback if there is anything you have to explore more in your career. So important to know before applying for a professional title is you must be a member of Engineers Ireland for at least 3 months, and you will need to demonstrate the competence of a professional engineer. And you need supporters. So supporters can be anyone that are anyone that is a chartered engineer. Could be someone from another country. Doesn't have to be only from Ireland, but someone that knows you as a professional and worked with you before, or is working with you now. You need 2 for the chartered engineer. And they are the people that will actually help you with your application, what you should write more or less, and they will give, their suggestions. And you also need to include 35 hours of CPD per year for the last 2 years. This is the minimum, and it's included. So it's important to keep your CPD hours updated through your profile with Engineers Ireland. So there are 2 deadlines per year. It's always the last Friday in January and the last Friday in June. So if you miss one deadline, you have to then wait until the next one. And and so they are in the beginning of the year and the middle of the year. I have a slide here about CPD, just for general information, and because some people think that CPD is only things that you have a diploma or a certificate, something you have to prove, but there's lots of other things that counts as a CPD. So today, this event, for example, you can include as a CPD. And if you are giving a presentation, if you are mentoring, if you are receiving any training, or if you're reading a book that is helping you through something about work, or if you are part of a committee, doesn't have to be an engineering committee, it can be scouts, for example, you can also add as a CPD hours because you are using your communication skills with the CPD. So there's a minimum of 35 hours, but we would advise people to have like around 50 and a variety of types of CPD. And the minimum for the self-directed learning is a maximum of 14 hours. Of those 35 can be self-directed learning. And every year we have the event called Chartered Engineer of the Year. So we received more than 400 applications every year, and we select 6 finalists. So they all present a showcase project, and one is awarded as the Chartered Engineer of the Year. And this is a very important and well-recognized title to have in Ireland. So I'm getting towards the end now. So I will play a video from Joe Power. He is the president of Engineers Ireland.
Engineers Ireland is your professional home. We're a diverse and vibrant community comprised of 25,000 members who are committed to creating sustainable solutions for society. We're with you as you commence your career as apprentices, as engineering students, through graduation and beyond. We will support and guide you and provide you with professional development opportunities. Our regional branches, divisions and societies will also provide you with ideal networking opportunities with others from our engineering community as you progress throughout your career. As you develop and advance, we'll support you to attain a registered professional title, providing you with a badge of excellence in recognition of your professional competence and experience. Our membership team is here to support you every step of the way. We invite you to join this vibrant community. Please contact our membership team today.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker now is Henry Poh. He's from Atkins, and he will be sharing his professional experience in Ireland. Thank you very much, Henry.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see all of you here. So at first, I wasn't too sure if I want to come here today because, in fact, I'm flying to Malaysia tomorrow. That's where I'm from. It's been a while since I've seen my family, so I'm really excited about it. And so here today, I'd like to come share with you my professional experience in Ireland. And also I'm going to touch base a little bit of my experience in the UK as well, because I've been living majority of my life in the UK before I moved to Ireland at the start of COVID. How exciting it is, everything locked down. But here we are, we survived. And yeah. So, that's my professional title, quite a long one. But I'm a chartered civil engineer. I'm a member of the EngineersIreland, and in addition, I'm also a fellow member of the Institution of Civil Engineering in the UK. So A little bit of introductions. So I graduated in diploma in civil engineering back in Malaysia. That was in 1999. So I guess you can guess how I am. I'm still very young, I have to say that. And then I went to United Kingdom and I studied my degree there. So I graduated in year 2002. And in 2008, I obtained my chartered civil engineer status with the Institute of Civil Engineering in the UK. As mentioned about the rule of thumb, the years experience is a circa about 4 or 5 years. So that I got my professional title there, and about 8 years later on, I have been admitted as a fellow member of the Institution of Civil Engineering in the UK. At that time, I was hoping to be the youngest one that ever awarded of that title, but I failed by 1 year. So the youngest one at the time, he was the age of 35. So I was 36 by the time when I got it, but hey ho, it's fine. Move on. And then I moved to Ireland in year 2020. And before I moved to Ireland, I applied to become a member of EngineersIreland to the mutual recognition, because between the UK and Ireland, they have the mutual recognition. So hence I've been granted a member of the EngineersIreland in 2019 before I moved to Ireland in 2020. So that is my background education and then background. And also as for my career, kind of like this is a bit of my CV now, isn't it? So I'm not here applying for a job, by the way. So I started my my career as a graduate engineer back in 2002. So I was working for Jacobs in the UK, funny enough, as a geotechnical engineer. So I do all the site investigation, if you remember, the course that you do at university or colleges, all the CVR and all the soil tests and so, those are all the interesting stuff. And then after that, I find my passion in aviation because I always like planes. Before being an engineer, I really thought about being a pilot, but I kind of think about pilot, you have a good eyesight. That's what I was told, by the way. But I didn't have a very good eyesight, so I changed my second career with a civil engineer. Then I found out oh, by the way, you still involved in the aviation sector. That's how I get into it. So because I like to see airplanes. So I've been working as an engineer for Jacobs for a number of years. And in 2008, I become the design manager and also the technical lead for Gatwick Airport. Essentially, I look after major projects at Gatwick Airport. So I started my career, I'll have to say, I still remember my first ever projects that I'd be the design engineer and also project manager is £5,000 at the time. So over a period of time to about year 2008, I responsible for a project for £185 million projects. You kind of you will have to start somewhere. So I start with 5,000. Great, I'm so excited about it, to the point that I'm managing a portfolio of 185 million. And now I'm responsible for a project at Dublin Airport for €3 billion. So it's kind of for 5,000 to 3 billion. That's a lots of zero at the end, isn't it? So I'm not going to go through, you can see kind of my background. So I moved to Ireland in 2020. So I was appointed as an associate director and leading the aviation team here for EngineersIreland. And so now I'm the technical director and also the head of aviation for EngineersIreland. What does it mean? So I look after all the aviation project here in Ireland, and also I'll be responsible to expand the business for the aviation in Europe, and also supporting our colleagues in the UK as well, because I have a close tie to the UK. All the airports in the UK: Birmingham, Manchester, Heathrow, Gatwick, Biggin Hill, some smaller, some bigger ones. So in addition to that, being passionate as an engineer, I also involved in EngineersIreland Learning and Development Committee. And what it means is I be part of the committee in 2021, and now I'm the chair of the committee. So the committee is a kind of bring a group of engineering staff at different levels. We discuss about different kind of development that require for the staff, and also I'm responsible for relaunching the graduate training program for EngineersIreland, and the program was launched in 2021. So yeah, I'm the chair of the current, and also currently we are working with a team to develop Atkins training, technician training program, and also I supporting the management team to roll out the mentoring program on Workday. Workday is like the electronic platform, they use in the HR. So it's kind of like you can find the mentor that you want. You can search what skills that we want. Kind of like all high tech technologies, interesting stuff. So my other professional membership and commitment. So apart from being an engineer and also involved in the Learning and Development Committee, and as mentioned, I also the register with the UK Institute of Engineers. So essentially I'm a registered reviewer for them. So I have not registered with EngineersIreland yet, but I'm with the UK. So basically, I'm one of the reviewers to sit at the side of the table to interview the candidate that sit for their professional title. So there are many different professional titles, similar with EngineersIreland. So you have a chartered professional review and also technical report, which is the equivalent to the experience route. So I also sit in the panel and also review for the MPL, which is the in-corporate engineer, also review for technician and also review for the apprentice. So you can see that I volunteer quite a lot in my early careers, and which I still do at this moment in time. However, I usually be the backup. So in case of any reviewer pulled out, the institution tend to call me, Henry, can you do this? Because I have someone put out last minute. So I usually say yes. It's fun, I like talking to an engineer. If you think about being a reviewer, it's not only interviewing individual, you are learning as well, because you have to read the submission. And a lot of time when I read the submission, oh, that's interesting. I'd like to steal that idea. Oh, that's a good engineer idea. So, you learn a lot. So, so one of the great experience I can say, until now, I still remember one of the best engineers that I have interviewed to date is a lady from China. I was interviewing her in Singapore at the time because I was traveling around the world with the institution to interview engineers across the globe. She was the structural lead engineer responsible for the opera building. If you remember, like in Singapore, they have fancy building, the one that looked like the Lotus. Not sure if you can just search on the internet. She was a structural lead engineer. I spent about an hour and a half because you went through the experience route or the technical report route. So you have to go into a great level of detail in engineering. There are two parts of the interview. Gosh, the time just fly by. It's so enjoyable. Just listen to her, all the design, all the challenges. It's a complex engineering, but she just make it so easy to understand. I'm not a structural engineer, but I understand, her concept and how she came about it. It's just absolutely amazing. After the review, I just feel like I learned so much, from her that I actually asked a question. The reason I asked a question because I want to know more rather than I actually test her ability. So it is good fun. I will say, you network, you learn a lot of things as well. And in addition now, so I also be the auditor. What does it mean is the reviewer, they say interview the candidate. So I sit as an auditor and making sure reviewer do the right job. And I also train new reviewers now. And now recently I've been admitted as a standard panel for the professional review. What it means like all the results, throughout the professional review will go through the standard panel. So we have to do the audit and check the reports and making sure they satisfy all the requirements. And so look, I'm also now the main committee for the ICE and Republic of Ireland branch as well. So this is sort of things that I do outside my 9-to-5 day job. Interesting. Outside engineering, so this is something a bit different. I'm not sure like the picture there. So there you go. So I'm a ballroom and Latin dancer. So I do competitively. So I train and we do national and international competitions. So that's my passion outside work. So engineer by day, and then weekend I'll kind of do a ballroom and Latin dancing. I kind of enjoy it. It's a kind of different skills. The skills what I learned from being a ballroom and Latin dancer is you have to do multitask. That's what engineers tend to do very best, because you have to dance with a beautiful lady, you have to listen to the music, you have to know your step, and you have making sure that you're not going to get knocked down by other people, because you'll be dancing competition around, another 20 couples around the dance floor. So there you go. That's a multi-skill, and you have to dance for 1 minute and 30 seconds, and lots of things happen in that 1 minute and 30 seconds. You just think like that's forever. So some of the major achievement in Ireland. So I moved in Ireland in 2020. So as I say, like, I joined Atkins, and then I have been part of the core committee with Atkins Learning and Development Committee. So in 2022, so Atkins, we have been awarded as Employer of the Year. You can see the picture there in the middle. That's my managing director. So I was a core team that actually helped, with the re-accreditation and also all the audit process. And the picture in the middle, I'm not sure if you can see very well. So that is in 2021 in November, still during COVID time. I'm not sure if you remember at the time, the airport is shut, and basically Cork Airport made that decision to shut the airport and rebuild the runway. So, instead of closing the airport every night, the airport decided to close the runway completely for duration of 10 weeks, build the runway, and reopen back to business. So that is, so there's only 2 airports in Europe have actually done that during the COVID time. So Cork is one of them. The next airport is Luxembourg Airport. So you think about like they take this opportunity of low passenger and try to do the work. Otherwise, if you're going to do the night closure of the airport, it probably costs you about maybe 8 times more how much you would spend on this kind of development, and it causes disruptions. So it was a very challenging project. So I was leading the design team here in Ireland to deliver the design for that. And the more challenging is, even though the airport is closed for 10 weeks, all the construction work need to finish within 8 weeks. You think about it's a major work of this project. And the pictures in the middle, that's a T-shirt, Martin. So in less than 2 years, I managed to meet the VIP of the country, so I managed to shake his hand, and I met the foreign minister, Simon Coveney, as well. So yeah, we still had to wear masks and social distancing at the time, but what a great achievement that I'm able to contribute to the engineer in Ireland. And I mentioned that I was leading the aviations for Atkins, and in 2022 we have been successful to the design contract with DAA, who are responsible for the development in Dublin Airport and Cork Airport. So we have been successful on both contracts. It means that we are responsible for building multidisciplinary design, with architect, structural, M&E, fire, and also for the civils and airfields. So essentially what it means that we are responsible for €3 billion capital investment plan for the airport for the next 5 years. It is a very exciting project. If you think about airport, it's just like a mini city. You have so many different disciplines. Of course, there's an aeroplane as well that you have to work around it. And yeah, what a fantastic opportunities. And now we have started to grow the team. And yeah, I have to say my team is a fairly diverse team, because it's important to bring all the skills of engineer from different parts of the world, because they can share some things that that we do not have. And in addition, we also won the award as a Construction Excellence Award in the UK, at the back of the success that we did at the Cork runway projects. Yeah, so now I'd like to talk about some challenges working in Europe. So it's not been easy. So I moved to UK at the time in year 2000 to study my degree in civil engineering. I still remember well, just like yesterday, wasn't it? So so in Malaysia, we speak multiple languages. I'm sure some of you do that as well. So Malay is the main language that we speak in Malaysia, and we do study English as well. But I remember that I attended my first lectures in environmental engineering. I sat there for 1 hour. I have no idea what the lecture is talking about. I haven't got a clue. So the lectures is from Birmingham. I think they have a very strong Birmingham accent. But it's just the whole week. I went back to see my tutor, and I said, like, oh gosh, like, how am I get through my engineering course? Because I'm not used to listen to lectures in English. So the language has been a huge barrier, because you just like off the boat in the lectures, among the students, everything is delivered in English. So the language has been a challenge, but look, that's not going to stop me being excellent. I like to think so. So for that particular year at the university, I selected all the modules that doesn't require me to write any essays. That's my strategy. So it's all about science and mathematics, numbers. I'm sure we're all very good with numbers. So all about numbers. I can do numbers. It's either right or wrong. But quite often, if you get the numbers right, you get full marks. So it's easier to get through my engineering year, So then, as the time go by, you kind of engage and embed it to societies, you kind of know, to improve your English, the communication, and so on. Then it just starts to come out, So like everyone else, the first few years is always a challenge, and also to try to embed into culture as well, because being an Asian is a very different culture, and then you work in Europe and you have among the peers is a different one. So those are kind of the challenges, and also I'm sure majority of you are multilingual. You speak so many different languages. Have you come across the challenges when you think of a language, of your mother tongue language, and yet you have to speak out in English? I'm sure you all do that. And more challenging, you have to write in English. That's also is a challenge as well. Your mind keeps translating in your mother tongue language into English, and at time the translation doesn't really work out as well, and that's why people say, like, what do you actually mean? I don't understand. And because you are keep doing that, I think engineer with speak multi-language can associate to that. And also I remember that one time I was speaking to my mom on the phone. I was speaking to the Cantonese, and then later I throw out the phone and I have to speak to my colleague. Oh gosh, I cannot speak English. It's like all the words are all over the place. So it's kind of like hard to adjust, but over a period of time, I think you kind of adjust with language. I think try to think that as the strength, because our mind work extra harder to think about that, isn't it? From the language perspective, but eventually, you get there. And journey. So the journey, working in Europe has been quite challenging. So I started my career in the UK, working in a multinational company and working with, great engineers. So I have to say that it's not been smooth riding. Of course, we all go ups and downs. There are times that you feel like you really enjoy your work, and also there's times that you think about, what am I being an engineer for? I do not know, is that the right career? I do not know. So yeah, just think about that. The journey, not always. You may not see where you will become, but just need to have a little bit of faith of yourself. So if I can do it, I'm sure you can do it. And one thing that I always believe: if you work hard, you will get there. So just don't do minimum. If you want to be someone great, sometimes you have to invest more time and effort, and you will get there. So I got there, so it's okay, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, for the professional institutions, I'm very actively involved in the UK and also now in the EngineersIreland, so they can provide a lot of training, help you the skill. And also it's important about networking as well. So your learning doesn't stop in your office at your desk and look at the computers. So you're learning also by talking to the people, to the network. I learned so much by talking to the peer who actually work in the oil and gas industry. It's just a normal corridor chat. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I never thought about that. And those are the things that you learn to the network and talk to the people. The institution able to help you, because if you think about the institution just like a club, isn't it? So everyone be a club member. And because you're in the same club, they're all kind of like, oh yeah, you're part of a club, let's have a chat and things like that. What are things that you can help? You're helping each other, and that's how you build the network in the community. And also it's important about continuous improvement. We all try to learn something new. Even until now, I'm still learning. So I still have to study, I can read, I watch TV about engineering, great engineering, so we all learn continuous learning. So it's actually important. That's why that we talk about the CPD, 35 days. Some engineers look at, wow, 35, is that hours? Sorry, not days, hours. Oh God, that's a lot. Gosh, that's nothing for the whole year, so think about, the amount of learning, if you think about, how much you need to improve yourself, that the time just fly by, So what future hold for engineering? I think this is interesting, because I do not know what I want to talk about today's event. I thought, like, let's throw in some fun there, what the future holds for engineering. So in my time, we are having to AutoCAD, yes, the computer is there, Windows 95, some of you still remember. We have got the T-bar, we have to draw some technical drawing, some of you still remember you have to do. And now everything is like BIM, and then you have like everything digital, and I think that's where the future is all about, the intelligence of your information, of your design, in a digital format, and how you can enhance them, for the future use. It's all about, digital. I'm sure you heard a lot to think about BIM. But BIM is not just about 3D. It's about the information, building information management. It's about what are the contents. There are so many components within the BIM about how you share the information, how you collaborate the information, how you pass on the information to the client that can use for planning, for asset management, for the whole, life cycle cost management. So there are lots of components associated to all the digital elements. So do not be afraid to kind of like expand, yourself to learn a bit more about the digital in engineering. And I think that's the future, the way it goes.